Hello and welcome. I thought I should give all of you a sort of a sneak peek into my office, which is also my recording studio. So this is the entry to my office. And as you enter, you see a small bell thing from Pakistan. There is an inscription on the top of my door, which is a Persian verse. I will explain it someday. As you enter the office, the front, that's the computer and my recording station. Rest of the office, other than the front where there are two windows, is covered in shelves and has books. And a rug from Afghanistan, my chair. And here is where I do all the recordings. So I have very simple equipment, a computer, a camera on top, a small light and a mic. Nothing sophisticated, but this is the equipment I use to record my videos, and then I edit them on my phone using an app. So that's pretty much what makes everything happen on my channel. And I'm pretty happy with the setup. I might eventually get a better camera, but I think for what I do, this is good enough. Now, the windows are really large, and I really love the light, natural light that comes from outside. And I love having these big windows in my office. That's why I sit facing them. Now, here is the first shelf. It has my literary theory, my post-colonialism books, and on the top, some hadith collections and the lexicon of Lane on the left. So I pretty much use all these books in my teaching and research. So nothing here is just for the sake of being here. These books are very well used in my research. And as we move towards the right, now that is the plant that you see in some of my videos on the right. And then below here, as you see, are post-colonialism and theory books. They are not in any order at this point, so I have to look for them. And that small shelf usually holds a Farsi dictionary, an Urdu dictionary, Arabic dictionary, and some of the books that I used for my last book, which is coming out hopefully next year. But traditionally, I always have one shelf that houses the books that I'm using for a research project. Now on the top there is my diploma, my PhD diploma from Florida State, a copy of the Quran, and below it a copy of a 18th century Punjabi religious text. And here are the two flags which always show up in my videos. So one from Pakistan, of course, the other is the US flag. And the history behind them is that a few years ago I ran a Department of State program, and we had a partnership with National University of Modern Languages, Islamabad. And we brought 58 of their scholars to our campus for their research. We also went and taught there every summer for 4 years. So we had bought these flags for that office. And as symbols of two nations coming together in a partnership. And so I inherited these, and I decided to use them on this door because, this door is the background of my videos, and it usually, without the flags and the shawl around it, it would look pretty boring. So that's the best use of the flags. And obviously they represent me as well, because I'm from Pakistan, but also a US citizen. So kind of several meanings that you can draw from those flags. To the right, you see the book on the top is a book on Sikh heritage, which is a picture book of beautiful historical temples and places of the Sikh faith that exist in Pakistan still. To the left is the artwork from one of my friends, and as you see, that is the Holy Kaaba on the left, right? And I think on the top of this is Nankana Sahib, on the Sikh heritage book. two sacred places to two different religions and faiths. And then the books atop which they are sitting, and you'll see those books in a minute, are the 7 volumes of Talisman Hoshruba. And this is probably the most fascinating and ambitious work of fantasy from 18th century India. I read these in 8th and 9th grade, but I recently was able to get the full volumes from Pakistan. And occasionally I pick up a volume and read it. The language is pretty hard and archaic, but you can make sense of it if you have read enough Urdu and Farsi. So that's that shelf. Below that is my subaltern studies, Marxism, and feminism shelf. So my shelves are kind of thematically organized. If I know it's a Marxist book, I'll put it in this shelf. So then when I'm looking for it, I know exactly which shelf to go to. But this shelf holds a lot of my resources on Marxism or Marxist theory, on feminism, and also some on, resistance literature. Now this shelf currently is the shelf that has all the materials, the books that I am using for my current book project on Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the founder of Pakistan. Those blue volumes that you see are actually the original papers from the British government about the last 5 years of the British rule, and they will form my primary source for this project. And I'll make an announcement about what is included in this book project. Now, if you go slightly around the corner, my office has this really interesting nook in the back. And of course, I put shelves there, and that holds my Persian, my Urdu texts, Arabic philosophy, some dictionaries. So that area contains all the rich materials from the Middle East. And then the main wall of my office, floor to ceiling shelves, have all the fiction from post-colonial studies that I read or have read or use in my classes. Pretty much every major author is there now. Some of the shelves are at the bottom, so they are not showing, but that holds my fiction collection. And then as we move to the right, we end up where we started, and that is, in front of my computer, from where I record all the videos that you watch. Thank you so much for watching.